is The Ramsey Show. It's where America hangs out to have a conversation about life, money, working on purpose, relationships, mental, emotional health, just about being on purpose. I'm Ken Coleman, joined by my colleague Anthony O'Neill, and we are together to take your phone calls, 888-825-5225. It's your show, America. The phone call is free. 888-825-5225 is how you jump in. Let's start it off the shower with Randy in Cincinnati, Ohio. Randy, how can we help?
Hey, how you guys doing?
We're living the dream. What's going on with you?
All right, good. Living the dream myself. So my question is I plan on replacing my truck that I have now of 13 years, and is it wise to buy new if paying cash or to replace it with another used one? I've had it for 13 years, and I'm on a 2-year program of saving money to pay cash. With the plans is to have approximately about $60,000 to spend to replace it.
Wow. That's a great question, man.
Yeah. You have any other debt?
Actually, only our mortgage, thank you, Jesus.
There you go. Good for you.
So the question is this. I'm going to have $60,000 cash that I could spend on the vehicle, right?
That's a nice truck, by the way.
And you're going to get a new truck. Is this $60,000 on top of your 3 to 6 months, Randy? Or is this $60,000 that you have total in the bank?
So I'm actually...
We lost you.
And plans to have $60,000. So we already have 6 months.
Okay.
Yeah, this is all towards your truck. You've been saving this outside of the baby steps. Yeah. Okay.
Cool. Great.
Correct. So in March of 2022, I should have $60,000.
Great.
Cool. And what's your household income annually?
About $110,000.
Cool. So what we recommend here is that your vehicles should not add up to be more than 50% of your household income. Okay? The value of your car. So if you're making $110,000, this means that you should be right around a $55,000 car in your possession. So, and if you want to stretch it to 60 because you're paying cash for it, I'm cool with that. Yeah. I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh, no. But if you come to me and say, yeah, I want to buy a $100,000 car cash and I make $100,000 a year. No. And then the only go ahead.
Go ahead. No. So is it wise to buy new or should I stick to buying used? So my wife thinks it's a bad idea to buy a new vehicle.
Listen, man, here's the thing. The value of the car is the main thing. I would suggest used only so this way someone else eat up the depreciation. Yeah. But if you find a car that's brand new, you're going to pay cash for it. I mean, that's on you. As long as you know you're going to lose some money as soon as you pull off the lot. Okay. But the key thing here is you're paying cash. You're not using your emergency fund. And the car's value is not anything more than your salary. So you can choose. If I was in your shoes, especially with my net worth being below $1 million, I'm going with a used vehicle.
Yeah, I think that's great advice. Yeah. And there's not much difference between the brand new one and maybe the one that's a year old or even 2 years
exactly.
old. It's fantastic. I love
Still
the
up underneath the warranty and everything.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, let's go to Dayton, Ohio now, where we join Kristen. Kristen, how can we help?
Hi, thank you so much for taking my call. How are you guys?
We are having a blast. What's going on with you?
Good. I had a question about a Parent Plus loan. I know, we need to pay off our loans, like student loans. So I'm on baby step 2. And I was just curious, do I need to pay off my mom's loan that she took out for me? Because I know the Bible says, honor your parents. So that's always kind of, in the back of my mind. But she's also in, addiction. So she doesn't really have her life together. I've been trying to locate the loans, but I can't seem to find, the mail for it. So, yeah.
So let me get this straight. Your name is not on the Parent Plus loan, correct?
I don't think so, no,
Cool.
Because she took it out for me.
Okay. And you are currently in debt and you're paying off your debt right now, correct?
Correct, yes.
Cool. So what I would do if I was you is I'm going to pay off all my debt, baby step number 2. Mm-hmm. Then I'm going to stack up my 3 to 6 months of expenses. Once I cover that, I'm going to have a conversation with my mom and dad and be like, hey, Mom and Dad, I'm in a great place financially. I want to help. And I would love to help pay back those student loans. Right now, those Parent Plus loans are not your obligation. I would focus on the things that you're obligated with. Get yourself on a solid foundation you can stand on. Once you get in a solid foundation, if you still have that conviction of helping your mom, then yes, go help your mom. But right now, that's her responsibility because she decided to do that. She decided to do that to help you. So I think you honor your mom and your parents by getting solid and then come back and ask them if they would like your help.
Yeah. Kristen, let me ask you this. She's dealing with addiction and her life's a mess right now. And so that's why you're having a hard time just hunting down any of the paperwork or anything on that loan she took out for you. Did I hear that correctly?
Yes, that's correct.
AO's absolutely right. I'm not adding anything to what he said, but when you get to that point, I think I'm hearing this in your voice. You're concerned you don't want to give her money to pay off the loan because you're afraid what she's going to do with the money.
You could say that, yeah. She's just such a sweetheart. Like, she's the nicest person ever. She just needs help.
No, I get it. But what I'm saying is with everything AO said is absolutely right. And because you're worried about that, and you should be, here's the deal. Once you get to that point, hopefully you'll be able to get all the paperwork and get directly to the loan. You can pay that, but don't give her the money. You find a way. You can get on the phone with them, whatever. There's a way to do that. And I would just not give her the money to pay it off. I would find a way for you to pay it off directly.
Okay.
Makes sense? Because you don't want to contribute to anything, and she's not healthy.
Agreed.
And I know she's a sweetheart, and by the way, it rubbed off on you. You got a heart of gold, too. Mm-hmm. But the point is that you find a way to pay it off directly and not give her the money. That way it eliminates any temptation, and you do what you want to do, but you can't control that other stuff. You know what I mean?
Yes. Thank you.
Yeah, you bet. Good for you. Good for you. What a sweet, sweet gal she is.
Hear it in her heart, man.
Yeah. Yeah, she's great. You want to be careful there with family members in that situation like that. Never, ever, ever give them money and then assume or trust that they're going to do the thing. If you want to pay it off,
go pay it off.
You go do it. You figure out how to do it. And it just takes that, not just the temptation out for the mother in this situation, but also if she were to do that, give the mom the money, the mom not use it for the proper use and do something that's, obviously leading her to her addiction.
Agreed.
There's more guilt and shame on the daughter.
Yes, sir.
And boy, you don't want to live with that. So, tough situation, Kristen. You're awesome. You're doing great things. We'll be praying that your mom gets healthy. Great stuff. Anthony O'Neill, Ken Coleman with you. This is The Ramsey Show.
Technology should make your life easier, and it shouldn't break the bank. That's why I'm excited to tell you about SimpliSafe's incredible security camera. It automatically records evidence if there's a break-in, and you can live stream footage to your phone anytime you want. I'm talking around-the-clock professional monitoring with no long-term contract. Get a free HD security camera when you order at SimpliSafeDirect.com.
It's The Ramsey Show, and we're here for you, America. I'm Ken Coleman, joined by my colleague Anthony O'Neill, as we take your calls about life, work, money, relationships, mental health. Hey, we got AO on the desk today, so if you're single and you got some money questions about relationships, he's the expert on that. I always love those calls. I try to get him in here. Yeah. This is so fascinatingly fun for me.
We need some more single questions.
Single questions.
These married questions
they bore him.
Yeah,
and they scare him too.
They really do scare me. Yeah. Makes me want to stay single, some of these questions.
Oh, it's always fun. 888-825-5225 is the number. 888-825-5225. Let's go to San Jose, California, where Christy is on the line. Christy, how can we help?
Hey there. Thank you for taking my call, and I will definitely send my single son to talk to you. Okay.
Oh, there you go.
Send them my way. I'll take good care of them.
Well, my question is, I learned all how not to handle money from my father all these years. That I just started listening to the Ramsey show about 10 months ago. And in the interim here, I sold my business, and then an investment came in that we had, and that came in. And after IRS and the state has taken its big cut, I still have about $1.2 million left over. And the only debt I have is a mortgage of $360,000. But part of me really wants to take that money and help my kids get a house here in California because it's so darned expensive. So that's where I'm at. I don't know whether I want to take that money and pay part of the, loan off, or kind of hang on to it so it's cash flow to be able to help my kids get into a house.
So we have $1.2 million cash left over from your investments, correct?
Correct.
And then you have $360,000 left on your mortgage.
That's it. Yeah.
No other debt anywhere.
No cars. No nothing.
Other debt. No other debt anywhere. That mortgage was actually we took out that mortgage to buy a rental property for my son to live in. A lot of long story on that, and we're getting enough income on that to pay the mortgage. So the mortgage is being paid for. So there's nothing out of our pocket really.
What's in your retirement?
Mortgage, but it is sitting in.
What's in your retirement? How much do you have in your retirement right now?
My husband and I have about 1.8 in our 401k, and then we have another mutual fund of about $700,000, and then a couple of other things here and there that are about $400,000.
That's fantastic.
So you're looking at about like $2.5 million in investments, okay? And then you have $840,000 left after you pay off your mortgage. So this is what I'm doing. I'm paying off my mortgage. I'm going to jump on the phone with a SmartVestor Pro. Just make sure everything is solid as far as in, I will let it see maybe get to about like $3 million. So that way you can live off the interest of that, when you all are actually all settled. $300 million could produce you, a good amount of income a year that you all can live off of debt free. And I kind of like the fact of sowing a seed into your children. I really do. This is why we vouch for the things that we do. We want you to get out of debt, have a fully funded emergency fund, invest, and be everyday millionaires so that on Babysit number 7, you could be generous and give and build wealth. And so I'm paying off my mortgage, okay, with that $1.2 million. That's going to leave me with about $840,000. I'm going to sit down with my kids, and we're going to have a conversation. And you know what? I'm not just going to give them the money, Ken. I'm going to sit down and tell them, like, hey, you're going to get this money, but I want to have an understanding that, hey, these are some of the things I want you all to do. I want you to make good and wise decisions with your money. I want you to pay off your debt. I want you to do this. Give them something. Just don't hand them the money. Tell them, like, hey, I'm going to sow into you. We are going to sow into you, but I have expectations with this gift. And I'm not going to bring it back. I'm not going to take it back if you don't do it, but set them up to win long term. Yeah. Okay.
Well, I can tell you that 2 out of the 3 kids are totally debt free. My youngest son already paid off his loans.
Yeah.
So basically, our thought process is we would go in on the house with him, like as co-borrowers, and then eventually just sign it over to
don't
him.
do that.
Don't do that. Give them the money and let them be young adults.
Is this the same kid that's living in the rental right now?
No, that's the third one.
Yeah, and you know what? I heard some emotion in your voice. I'm not going to make you tell us all what it is, but it sounded like that. You said it was a long story, and I feel like there's something going on there that you may not be 100% sure about how to give them this money. Correct? You got 3 kids. If Anthony's right, you got $840 left over. How much were you thinking of giving each of the 3 kids?
Well, I was going to probably help the other two.
Oh, the other 2.
The one that's the other 2. The one that's living in the rental. I bought that house so that I knew as a mother he would always have a place to live. That's why we bought that one.
Yeah. Is he paying you rent?
Because absolutely.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
All right, so you're going to pay that off, and so you're going to have no debt because AO told you what to do, and that's beautiful. That's a great asset for you guys. But I don't like the idea that it's always a place for him to land. I like that he's paying you rent, but I think at some point he needs to put his big boy pants on. I'm just going to tell you that as a dad. But the other two, how much are you going to give the other two?
Well, I was thinking about $350. Yeah.
All right, so let's round it down. If it's, or we will round it. Okay, $350 each. That's $700. So you still have $140 left. Yeah, I would think through. I would think through all that. I like the idea of sitting down with one of our Smart Investor pros. You guys, by the way, congratulations. You guys are in fantastic position.
Absolutely.
And I'm with AO. As a parent, I would love nothing more than to be able to do something like this for my kids. I think it's great. But
when
I would
I'm
just
alive.
think
that's my whole thing. I want to see it when I'm alive. You know,
yeah, I think it's great.
Hoping these kids will get it someday when I'm not alive.
Oh yeah,
but I like seeing smiles on their faces when I can do it.
I think it's great, Christy. But I would be wise about it, and I would think through it.
Yeah.
And I would also think through relationally. You know, you got the one kid, you've already done a favor for him, but if you give the other two money, you don't give him. I mean, I just think through it as a parent. This is a complex thing when you got 3 kids and you're giving out big cash things. But I think AO's advice was great. Put some strings on it that are related to morality and other things like that are value driven. But yeah, nice touch here to do this. And again, AO,
that's a good position, man.
They're in phenomenal position. The $1.8 million in the 401k, $700,000 and another $400,000, so 1.1. So they're right at that $3 million mark, as you said.
Absolutely. And you know what, Ken? Here's the thing. When I think of baby step number 7, I get excited. You know, one of the goals that I have for me and my wife, whenever I do get married and we have kids, is that I'm going to make my kids sign an agreement that they will never tack on debt. They will never have debt. And if so, I will give them, $250,000 minimum, hopefully more by that time, depending on my financial situation, to go towards their house when they get married. That's their gift. But the agreement is that they will stay away from debt, never borrow money. And I'm looking forward to that because I work hard and I get the baby step number 7 to be generous. And the most person that I really want to be generous to is number 1, Kingdom, my local church, 2, my kids, and then 3, my community. And so I think what she's doing is phenomenal. But I just think use this time to be a blessing and then also use this time to be educational towards your kids.
Yeah. I love hearing the mother's heart there. You could hear the emotion. They've worked hard, she and her husband. They've done a great job. They've been very responsible. And on top of this, what the advice you gave her, they're going to be able to give cash away and they're paying off another investment.
Exactly.
Very easily. So
they still have something to go actually enjoy.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely right. But that is a beautiful thing. There's nothing more exciting for a parent than making their kids smile. And as an adult, I love that you brought this up. One of the other benefits of these baby steps, is to get out there as parents and to get into that baby step 6 and 7 and be able to do things for your adult kids too.
Yes.
Because you never stop being a mom.
Yep.
You never stop being a dad, no matter how old you are or how old your kids are. And that is just one other incredible benefit. It's not just to give away to others, but to give to your family.
Right.
I love it. Really good stuff. We got to get you married, man.
Ooh.
We got to get you married. So you got some little ones and you doing all
Ben,
this.
Let's go. Hurry up.
Yeah, see, he gets nervous. He gets real nervous when I wish all that on him. Fun stuff. Hey, don't move. More Ramsey Show coming right up.
Now, I know not everyone has the means to do a full renovation, but thanks to our friends at Blinds.com, there are some small changes you can make to help improve your home. Blinds.com makes it incredibly simple to shop top-quality blinds, shades, and interior shutters from home with easy online ordering and free shipping right to your door. Go ahead and get started today. Go to Blinds.com to take advantage of this week's special offer. Rules and restrictions apply.
Welcome back to the Ramsey Show. I'm Ken Coleman, joined by my colleague Anthony O'Neill, and we're taking your questions. 888-825-5225, 888-825-5225. Our Blinds.com question of the day is coming to you shortly, but first we want to make sure that you know that Blinds.com is giving you 100% satisfaction guarantee. And that means even if you mismeasure or pick the wrong color, which I did this once, I mismeasured the blinds, they helped me out.
They did?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah, because I'm a disaster in this area. And they'll remake your blinds for free. You get free samples, free shipping, and with the new promos they run every month, you'll save even more. Use the promo code Ramsey to get the best deal. Today's question comes from Noah in Utah. He writes in, I'm 23 years old and recently married. I work full-time in retail, making $36,000 a year. This is the highest I've ever been paid. I like the wage, but I'm planning on getting my bachelor's in biology to eventually become a dentist. I've been interviewing for dental assistant positions to get into my career field, but they're starting out at $30,000 a year. Is it smart to leave the job that gives me $6,000 more per year? My wife's annual salary is $30,000. In this situation, this is not a money decision only. If you can absorb the $6,000 decrease to get into the field and you feel like being a dental assistant is going to make you a better dentist, then I say do it. However, you got to get the qualification to be a dentist. That's a much more intense thing. I don't know that being a dental assistant makes you a better dentist. I don't know that it, opens up positions for you as much as you would think. So this one here is a clarify and verify piece of advice. What I mean by that is I talked to some dentists in the area. You're already looking at applying. I'd say, hey, is this a good move for me professionally? How much more qualified does this make me? How much more attractive of a candidate as a dentist does this make me if I can say I've got this experience as a dental assistant? I'd want to get minimum 3 or 4 opinions from other dentists on that before I would decide to make this move and then take the $6,000 pay cut. So I want to know a lot more. That's how you figure that out. I clarify, is this really going to be a good move for me professionally? Because on the surface, it's not financially right now, but I'm okay with that. If the professional benefits outweigh the financial deficit. That's how you always look at that, AO.
I love it, man.
Yeah. 888-825-5225 is the number. Let's go to Fort Morgan, Colorado. Alexa is on the line. Alexa, how can we help?
Hi, guys. Thank you for taking my call.
You bet. What's up?
So, first of all, AO, I apologize. It's a marriage question again.
He needs to learn this anyway, Alexa. He can handle it.
So, I am a fairly new listener. I have been listening a lot to all of your guys' shows, and I love doing different. I love being different. And so hearing you guys talk about all of the baby steps and how, oh man, it just makes me dream. I have 3 kiddos. I am married. And so the issue here is that I've mentioned, Financial Peace University and the baby steps to my husband, and he is not quite on board. I'm a little frustrated because I really want to make it happen. Obviously, I can't force him. So I wanted to know your advice on that.
Why is he not on board?
I don't know. He's a little stubborn.
I mean, your husband. Why is he not on board? He doesn't want to pay off his debt. He doesn't want the responsibility. Like, what's the reason?
I think he's really used to being kind of inside the box kind of thing, he's not very go out of my comfort zone kind of thing. And, we don't have an emergency fund right now. We just bought a house at the end of last year. And he wants to go buy a new car. Obviously finance, not cash or anything like that. And so I'm just kind of like, it doesn't make sense to me, but it makes complete sense to him, and he doesn't. He's not very open to new ideas, I guess. I've thought about possibly trying to do some of it on my own and kind of showing him how it works, or I don't know, paying off some of our debt if I do a budget on my own, and maybe then he'd be more open to it, I guess. But I don't know. I don't know if that's a smart move.
I don't think a married couple, it is. It's not a smart move to have 2 different budgets in the house. It's not a smart move to be on two different pages as a couple. And again, I think this is where I step out and let Ken speak in from a married perspective. But there's no way in the world Anthony O'Neill will be married to a woman and we cannot come to an understanding together. If that ever comes, and we're going to counseling, because the only way we can move forward as a couple is if we are together. It makes no sense for me to be running forward and she's still back there. It's going to cause even more issues, in my opinion, within my house, within a marriage. So I think right now we got to figure out, the money ain't the problem. Getting out of debt ain't the problem. I think the biggest problem is getting you two on the same page, period, about the marriage is the first step.
Yeah, I mean, let's be honest, Alexa, he doesn't have he doesn't like to get outside the box. No, he doesn't want to be a grown-up.
Ooh.
He wants all the toys. He doesn't want to sacrifice. He just wants to kind of keep going along. I'm guessing you guys make pretty good money. What's the household income again?
We're at about 90,000.
90,000. And how much of that do you make?
It's pretty close down the middle. I think mine is 48.
Yeah, I think you have got to sit down with him, and he's got to see that emotion on you. I mean, you were emotional, and I get it, because you feel as though your hands are tied. You're really reaching emotional desperation at this point, and I understand why, because you see where this is going, and you don't want this, and you feel like he's not even giving it a shot. So this again is a marriage situation. And I do think a professional counselor who is objective needs to sit with both of you, and he needs to see that emotion. He needs to know why you're emotional and what the future looks like in your mind. And he needs to confront all this, because this is a marriage, and it is not on you to try to budget your way and budget him into change. He's got to understand, my wife is serious. And so you guys need to have that conversation that you can't live this way. You're not going to live this way. And he needs to understand why and how it affects everybody. And I just think a professional counselor, a relationship counselor, or a pastor who has the gift of counseling needs to sit you down together, and we got to get this talked out. Because as A.O. said, this isn't really a money issue. You guys make $90,000. You can go make more. You can pay this off. You understand the baby steps. It's not a plan problem. This is we're not on the same page, and he doesn't get it yet. Maybe you've told him, but I don't think he gets it. Has he seen or heard this emotion from you?
Not recently, no.
Mm-hmm. I just don't think he gets how big of a deal this is to you. And this isn't you making demands and threatening him. I'm saying you got to go, I don't want to live this way. Here's why I don't want to live this way. It's killing me. Can I explain why? Will you hear me? I mean, a husband's responsibility is to hear his wife, to see her.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think he's seen or heard everything. And if you don't feel comfortable doing it in your home, then you need to say, hey, we need to go to counseling, and here's why I'm asking you to do it. I've already paid for it. I'm asking you not to go buy a car until we can get on the same page. I'm asking you to stop accumulating more debt until we can get on the same page. He's got to know, A.O. I mean, this isn't fun, but it's got to happen.
Yeah.
And then we find out how committed he is to the marriage, how committed he is to her. I'm so sorry, Alexa, that you're dealing with this, but this is worth fighting for. Fight the right way. Getting a professional to help is going to be the way to go. This is The Ramsey Show. Welcome back to The Ramsey Show. I'm Ken Coleman, joined by my colleague Anthony O'Neill. Thrilled to have you with us. 888-825-5225 is the number. Our scripture of the day, Ephesians 6:10-11. Finally, be strong in the Lord and in His mighty power. Put on the full armor of God so that you can take your stand against the devil's schemes. Our quote of the day from John A. Shedd. A ship in harbor is safe, but that is not what ships are built for. Let's go to Cincinnati, Ohio, where Karen joins us. Karen, how can we help?
Hey, I am very thankful to get to talk to you guys. I talked to Anthony a few weeks ago, and he suggested I talk to you, Ken, about how to increase my income to be able to pay off my student loans, but I don't want to have to work myself to death to do it.
Okay. All right. I like this conversation. So do we have any ideas of what you want to be doing, the type of work, maybe the career field?
I'm in IT right now, and I've been doing that since 1999, and I do love it.
Good.
So I'm happy with what I do, but my ideal job would be something working with animals, but I don't want to have to go back to school.
No,
again.
I get that.
I'm 54 years old,
No, you're 54 years young. Let's be very clear
That's
about
right.
that.
I agree.
You bet. So how much do you make right now, Karen? What's your income?
A little under $39,000.
Okay. And what do you do in IT? What kind of work? What are you qualified for? If I were to look your resume up, what would I basically come away with? What kind of IT work?
Do a lot of support, do some network cabling, that kind of stuff. So.
Okay. Well, I got great news for you. You should be making, with the amount of experience you have in IT, and then I think there's some certifications ahead in your future that don't cost that much. I'll tell you more about that in a moment. But you could be making $75,000 to $100,000 very soon if you got very intentional. And this has nothing to do with working 60 hours, 70 hours, 80 hours a week. This is just a function of you getting qualified to do more technology work than you do. You're essentially a help desk, somebody that kind of does a lot of that right now, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. So let me ask you this. You've been in the tech world a long time. What kind of tech work, if you knew that you would be successful at it and you got the qualification done, what kind of tech work would you want to do?
I really like the security side of things. That really interests me a lot.
Listen, cybersecurity, Karen, is exploding. It's one of the fastest growing fields, period, not just in technology.
And the income is up there, too,
Income is fantastic. You can make six figures within a couple years of getting in it. Oh, yeah. It's not right away, but Karen, you do realize that that's just a function of getting qualified, and it does not mean you have to go back to college. Are you aware of that?
No.
Okay, great. So let me tell you about Bethel Tech, because here's what I want you to do. In just a moment, I'm going to put you on hold. And Karen, if you don't call Bethel Tech and tell them that Ken Coleman told you to call them, I'm going to be very upset at you.
Uh-oh.
Because
I just wrote their name down.
Perfect.
So.
Here's the website, betheltech.net. Okay? Now, I partner with them on the Ken Coleman Show. I endorse them. You know why I endorse them, Karen?
Why?
Because they have a 9-month program.
What?
9 months, and you can do it online. And you ready for this? If you're a Ken Coleman Show or Ramsey Show listener, because I'm telling everybody else about it too, you cash flow your way through it. They give you a bigger discount. It's going to be less than $15,000. They'll give you a cash option. You can cash flow monthly through their 9-month program, and they have an 80% placement rate, Karen, in technology positions, including cybersecurity, development, all types of Ruby on Rails, all this stuff I don't even understand, okay? And you can start at $75,000. Within a couple years, you're making six figures. There's your answer. Now, here's the deal. There are other people out there. So I want to make sure people understand this isn't just somebody that I'm endorsing. They really are doing this. They're already getting results for Ken Coleman Show listeners. So go to the website, betheltech.net, call them, say, I talked to Ken Coleman. I want to know how this works. Teach me more. Tell me more. You poke, you prod, you ask all the questions. At the end of the day, if you feel really good about them, then I want you to consider doing that. You can save up for it. You don't have to have it right away, but it's such an affordable option, and they're going to help you with placement. That's why I like them. You want to get qualified, whether it's Bethel Tech or somebody else. You want to get qualified with a legitimate organization that can get you the skills and also help you with placement. Because a lot of these companies are looking for newly qualified tech talent. And here's what's great about this. I want everybody else to understand this besides Karen. every industry is now a tech industry.
Mm-hmm.
You think about the ministry world, the nonprofit world, healthcare, just straight up business. Everybody's got tech positions. So, Karen, with your existing experience and your talent, this is a no-brainer for you. So, to answer your question, you need to get qualified. And you need to figure out who to best qualify you to do cybersecurity. And it's not a 4-year degree. It's not. You may have to pay. You have to pay your dues a little bit. You may have to get in an entry level. But I got good news for you. You're going to make more in entry level than you are now doing help desk.
Yeah.
So that's how you make more money
great.
and not work yourself to death because you're 54 years young.
Right.
There you go.
Yeah.
Karen,
I want
I'm
to have
putting you on
time to
hold.
Go out and enjoy my kayak.
Come on.
There we go.
Karen,
Yes.
you could go buy a nice kayak, make it 75 or more. Come on now. Call Bethel Tech. Go to betheltech.net. Talk to them. Anybody else is thinking about this. By the way, AO, for kids and parents, I want to bring this up for a second. There's some really talented kids that just naturally gifted in technology, and they may not want to go to school. The entry into the real world is possible. And it doesn't require a 4-year degree to get into technology. So you got some kids that could go right into what I would call trade school.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, technology is a trade, just like electrician or plumber or anything else. And so that's why I'm really, that's why I partner with organizations like Bethel Tech, because it's like you need to know that as a parent, hey, if my kid is kind of wanting to get in technology but don't want to college, that's not a bad thing.
Right.
They can get and make some really, really good money, and the sky is the limit, especially when you think of the field of cybersecurity, where that's really what it's all going to come boiling down to.
Yes. I love it, man.
Really
You're
interesting
teaching good.
stuff.
I like that. I never heard of that school. Thanks for educating us on that.
Yeah, I mean, hey, and by the way, they're just an example.
Yeah.
There's other fields, other technology schools as well. Do your homework. Can they help me get qualified to do the work that I want to do? Because at the end of the day, that's what it's all about. All right. AO, we got a question here.
What's the question?
From Amber on YouTube. AO, by the way, The Table with Anthony O'Neill, crazy popular on YouTube. And the guy's also blowing it up on Instagram. 2 great places to get video content for you youngsters, you parents out there. He knows how to talk in ways that people go, hey, I get that. That makes sense. That doesn't sound like some money expert. So check him out on YouTube, The Table with Anthony O'Neill. So here's a question. Amber says, we're on baby step 2, and we make $88,000 a year. I still owe $117,000 on my home, and I've got $103,000 student loan. I want to continue my education, but it's going to cost me $30,000
Cash flow.
to finish my degree as an advanced registered nurse. Can you tell me the steps to take to do this?
Yeah, man. Here's the very first thing. Cash flow it. Don't worry about paying off your student loans. Don't worry about your mortgage payment. I would literally go to MyScholarly, myscholarly.com. They're going to ask you to fill out a nice long application, and the application is simply to see what all you qualify for as a single parent, or maybe there's a lot of different things that you qualify for. And every Monday, they're going to send you out an update of scholarships that you actually qualify for. So get the scholarships, get the grants, and cash flow the rest of your schooling. Now, if I was you, I would call in and talk to Ken Coleman and see if you actually need to go back to school to get into your particular field. But if you and Ken agree that you need to go back to school to get this particular field and to get into this particular field, MyScholarly.com will help you get the grants and the scholarships that you need. You're making good money to where you should be able to as well help pay cash for it. Then once you get out of college, then we're going to attack the student loan debt and get on to the actual baby steps, which is pay off all your debt using the debt snowball, then get 3 to 6 months of income.
Yep. And by the way, while we're on this topic, Debt Free Degree, #1 best-selling book from Anthony O'Neill that is just chock full of a practical plan and all kinds of tips to be able to pay for that education you need and not go into debt you can't
For fun and practical ways to save money in your everyday life, you need to check out The Rachel Cruze Show, a podcast from money expert and my daughter, Rachel Cruze.
Hey guys, it's Rachel Cruze, and I'm so excited to tell you about my podcast. A lot of people are living paycheck to paycheck. They're in debt. They don't even know where to begin, but they have this need, this want to get in control of their money. And if that's you, you have come to the right spot. So in each episode, you're going to get a ton of inspiration and practical advice. If you've not subscribed to the Rachel Cruze Show podcast, make sure you do it today.
Hear more from the Ramsey Network, including The Rachel Cruze Show, wherever you listen to podcasts.
Hey, it's James, producer of The Ramsey Show. This episode is over, but check the episode notes for links to products and services you heard about during this episode. Thanks for listening.